So right now I'm filling my pastries with the meat. I'm just folding it over and I'm going to seal all around to make sure that it's all nice and secure. Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am about to make some Trini beef pies. Right now I have a pot and it is hot. I'm adding some vegetable oil to the pot. I mean, you can use whatever oil that you prefer. I use this because this is what I have at the moment. You can use olive oil or whatever type of oil. So I'm adding in my onions. I have some onions chopped. So with all the stuff that I have chopped up, I have some onions, I have some garlic, I have some green onions, I have some peppers, some pimento peppers. So that's all there. I'm putting in the onions first because that takes the longest to cook. So I'm going to just saute this for a little bit, and then I'm going to start adding in the garlic. After adding in the garlic, well, then I will add all the other aromatics. But now I'm just cooking the garlic and the onion up for a little bit. Once that is nice and cooked, you can cook this for about maybe 1 or 2 minutes. You want to make sure that the onions are translucent in color. So once that's cooked and sauteed, you're gonna add in all the other ingredients. You're just going to saute all of these and just want them to get nice and soft, because this is what's going to give your beef that nice flavor, you know, having all these different peppers and onions, garlic. I also have some thyme in there chopped up. So now I'm adding in my beef and I'm going to just cook that down. Once it's all cooked down, I'm going to add in some green seasoning. I have a recipe for the green seasoning on my channel, so you can check that out. So now I'm going to just season up this beef. So you can use whatever beef seasoning you want. I'm using this Montreal steak seasoning. You can use whatever seasoning you want to make this really tasty. I use Lawry's and I used the Montreal steak. You can use salt, pepper, black pepper. You're just trying to get this beef as tasty as you can get it. So there isn't really any rules as to what you put in there, you know, once you make it like really tasty. So I'm just putting enough green seasoning because I love green seasoning that has like shadow benny and stuff in there. So I like using that. And you know, I always use Lawry's seasoned salt. This is my preference instead of using white, like the table salt. So I'm going to add in some ketchup. I always add ketchup to my beef. It just gives it that nice sweet, you know, it balances off the salt in there, so it just gives it a nice kick. So once this is all cooked and you know the beef is all cooked, you're not seeing any more red or anything, you're going to, you know, just make sure everything is nice and crushed up, because you want the beef to be nice and pasty so that when you fill it into your pies, it is nice and smooth. Once this is done, you'll set it aside and start on the dough for the pastry. So I'm about to make the pastry dough. I'm adding the flour to the bowl, and then I'm going to cut in some butter into that flour. Now you want to make sure that this butter is cold, like super cold, because you want your pastry to be nice and flaky. So make sure your butter is nice and cold and firm, and you just cut it really small in small cubes, and you're just going to cut it into the flour when you're cutting it in the flour, you want to make sure that it gets like fine sand. You know, you want it to be nice and green when you put it in there. So you can use your hands or you can use your food processor. My food processor broke, so I'm using my hands today, old school style. So I'm just, you know, just crushing up the butter into the flour so that it gets like really fine sand. You want it to be really fine, like little pebbles in there. Because if you leave big pieces of butter, you will see it in your pastry. So once this is all nice and fine, you're going to start adding cold water, ice cold water. So I had some ice cubes in there and I'm just adding in the water, and I'm going to just mix this in. You don't want to knead this, you just want to bring it together into a nice ball. As if you knead it, will be too much gluten formed into the flour, so you just want to bring it together. So that's my reason why I'm just using my hands. I'm pinching it together versus kneading it, like when you're making, you know, like bread or stuff like that. So once this is completely mixed in and it comes into a ball, we're gonna smooth it out on the board and bring it into one nice big ball, and then you will see the next step. Just trying to get all the dry flour out, you know, everything just incorporated at this point. I'm just gonna bring it together, and then I'm going to take this whole ball and wrap it in some saran wrap. Once it comes together, I'm going to take my saran wrap and just wrap it up, and I put it into the freezer for about 30 minutes because you don't want it to freeze up, but you want it to be nice and cool. You don't want this dough to ever get hot because then it will take away the flakiness of your pastry. So that's my reason for putting it into the freezer. So you just wrap it real nice and put it into the freezer. You could put it into the fridge if you're not going to do it right away. I divided my dough into 2 pieces and I rolled it out really thin. And now I'm using my cookie cutter to just cut little circles. If you don't have a cookie cutter, you can actually use a glass or a teacup. Whatever size you want, you can use. You can make these bigger or smaller, a little smaller, but smaller than this won't really be that good. So I think this size is good, or if you want to make it a little bigger. So I'm just cutting these now. You have to work fast with this because, as I said, you don't want your dough to get hot. So you're gonna just cut this really fast, and whatever is left over, you just have to put it back into the fridge to keep it cool. Now doing this requires a lot of patience. If you don't have a lot of patience, you won't be able to do this. So, you know, you just have to prepare yourself to really spend some time to make this. But the end product is really good. It tastes so good. I love beef pies. This is one of my favorite pastries, and people use these like in weddings and birthday parties as appetizers. So they're pretty nice. So right now I'm just using my rolling pin and just opening it out a little more so that I can fill the meat in there. So now I am filling my pastries with the meat. You don't want to put too much meat in there because you want it to fold and not burst. So once you fold it, you want to put enough where it will seal properly and the meat won't escape out of it. You can make these bigger or smaller. I won't go smaller. I think bigger will be nicer. If you go smaller, it will be too small. That's just my opinion, but you can leave it this size. I don't think this size is too bad. So you want to seal this really well. Right now I'm just using my hands, but I also put some water to seal that, and then I dipped a fork in water and I even seal it more because you want this to stay intact. So one thing that you can do, this is what I did. I put the pastries in the refrigerator while I work on the others to keep them cool, because as I said, the colder your pastry is the flakier it's gonna be. So I just put the ones that were already filled in the refrigerator, and I just continued on and filled all of them. So I actually did my pastries two ways. I did it that first way where I folded it over, and this way is just flat. Some people do it like this a lot, but it really doesn't matter. It just depends on your preference. So this is just another way that you can make it. So I filled one half of the circle and then I put the other one at the top and just sealed all around. So either way, it's really nice. They taste the same. It's just a different way that you can do it, and if it's easier for you, you can do it this way. But either way, to me, is easy. It all depends on your preference. So I took all of the pastries out of the refrigerator, and right now I'm just egg washing it. Right now the egg wash is just one egg and a few tablespoons of water, and I just mixed it in and I'm just brushing the top of the pastry with the egg wash. Now I bake this in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes or until golden brown. It all depends on your oven. I baked it for 20 minutes, but it depends on your oven. So what I will do, I will continue checking it, because you're pretty much just waiting for the pastry part to really cook. So I'm just poking it with a fork so that the air will escape and the pastry won't get too puffed up and burst. So that's one of the reasons why poking it is important. So this is my finished pastry. You see what I was talking about, sealing it properly. You see some of them kind of opened up. It's not that bad, but you want them to look really nice. So this is something that you have to pay attention to. That's just a tip for when you're making it. Make sure that you seal it really well. So this is my finished products here. I did some currants roll, beef pies, and also some cheese puff. So I hope you try this recipe. It was a lot of work, but it's so worth it in the end, as you can see. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye.